Hello guys, welcome back again to Anthropology Answer Rating Session, Day 2. The question was posted on 30th of September and it was again from unit number 10, that is the growth and development. The question is Genetico-environmental factor affecting human growth, and it was asked in 2019 previous year questions, and it was for 15 marks. So let us try to look at the approach, some of the points. See, as usual, I have taken one of the answers from the students who are part of the anthropology mentorship now. Now, see, the question is genetico-environmental factors affecting human growth. What we will write, of course, we will define human growth. Better to write the scholarly definition. One thing that I liked here is, see, generally most of the people write Malina's definition of the growth. Since we are talking about not just purely genetic but also environmental factors, it would be good to write one or two other definitions which are focusing on the environment. That is what this student has particularly done. Look at this, the definition of Margaret Mead. Of course, the person she is known for like culture and personality, where she has studied the growth patterns along with the influence of the culture, influence of personality on the culture, and culture on the personality. These studies they have done. So according to Margaret Mead, Malina definition you already know, that's why I'm going for Margaret Mead definition. Growth refers to specifically to the physical changes and increasing in the size that individuals undergo over time. Though the definition is a very simple one, but the person who is involved, see, rather I would suggest here, if you are like actually looking for a definition, you can go for Julian Stewart definition. He was a neo-evolutionist who has given the concept of cultural ecology, where he defined these aspects from the physical environment and social environment perspective. That would be much apted definition here. Okay, but anyway, one or two definitions, that is more than enough. Even if you write this definition also, that is sufficient. Okay, now again, same aspects of the growth. And what is development? Because here I think in the question, no, it is only growth. You don't have to write about development. This can be skipped here. So this entire section like development and definition of the development can be skipped here, because it is not asking about development, only pure growth. You can focus on what is being asked. Okay, now we need to write about genetic as well as environmental factors. So genetic factors, everyone, you can write it like divide this into biological and physiological. Okay, physiological factors, or simply you can club and write it. And when it comes to environmental factors, I would suggest, so each and every one of you, please divide this into two types. One is physical environment, the environment surrounding us, which is putting some pressures, which we call it as environmental pressures. So there is a pressure, there is some extreme conditions, exposure to various changes in the physical environment. Similarly, there is another environment in which we are rising up, in which we are growing. That is social environment, that is the family, nourishment, the emotions, and the habits that we are exposed to, all these things. So better to divide this into these two categories and express it. And every time when you are writing these factors, it would be better if you gave one simple example. You don't have to go very complex example, rather you give one simple example to indicate that you have understood that topic. Simple. Okay, so let us look at the genetic factors which are mentioned by the student. Genes are inherited from both the parents. They influence growth and development. True. And they through their of course products, hormones, and enzymes, and different genes are activated at different times, and they induce the growth. Okay, this is accepted. Yes, growth is induced by different genes. Rather, you can simply mention growth hormones. See, the growth hormones regulate the growth process, and of course development is linked to the growth. Obviously it is also affected. Then cell differentiation, cell division, DNA duplication or replication, let's say protein synthesis, all of them you can say control the growth. Okay, good expression. Then yes, homeotic genes, okay, they control differentiation of various organs. Then heredity control by the genes. Okay, phenotype, like morphological aspects, let's say height ho sakta hai. Height is like tall parents generally contribute tall genes, so the children will be tall. But apart from that, there are various other factors which do act upon it. Then skeletal maturity and dental eruption. Yes, here there is no clear-cut role of the genes. For example, here he has given good examples. Japanese children reach their growth peak and mature earlier than the Negroids and Europeans. Then you can also talk about the height of the Japanese persons. Generally, it is average height is less, like 5'4" or 5'3". But if you have seen, like when these Japanese people are interbred with let's say the European or USA people, they cross breeds, like cross children, cross races. Surprisingly, it has been seen that their height has increased. That means clear cut there is a contribution of this gene from these parents who are generally having average heights. Similarly, another thing, twin studies. This is another example you can say. They also reveal that though the various genetic factors like biorhythm, okay, the similarity in the age of the menarche of mother and daughter, menarche of two identical sisters, so all of them. Similarly, the sex, that is gender determination, okay, these are all genetically driven factors which influences the growth. Now, if you talk about environmental factors, like I told you, here the segregation is not been done. You can segregate it. Physical environment. See, in physical environment, you can talk about the environmental stresses like extreme hot areas. Say in extreme hot areas, in order to dissipate more heat, we have extremities, longer extremities. Like this is followed by Allen's principle. Similarly, in colder areas, let's say colder areas, we used to have larger body size in order to have more metabolic heat and less surface area for a given volume, according to the Boltzmann law. You can give this example. Similarly, in cold conditions, say there are cold genes which do influence the growth and deposition of the fat and everything. So obviously, the environment, physical environment, does have a role in the growth. Then similarly, the social environment, that is the nourishment, the very important factor, because we require macronutrients and micronutrients. If they are not available at the proper time in the adequate quantities, it would lead to lot of diseases like marasmus, kwashiorkor, and malnourishment. All of them can cause severe growth retardations, right? Similarly, in genetic factors, we can also write about genetic diseases. See, if there is any genetic disorder like let's say Down syndrome, Pato syndrome, or Turner Klinefelter syndromes due to chromosomal aberrations, all of them have growth related issues. There will be a delayed growth in them. There will be difficulties in the learning abilities and growth patterns and all. Okay, then apart from that, yes, of course, the curve has been shown, the growth spurt. This is the normal. If there is any malnourishment also, there is a deviation, and the baby is going to be under or below the normal growth. Okay. Similarly, I have explained Allen's rule and Boltzmann rule. Then one more factor is the migration. Yes, migrating to a new area, this will result in the gene flow. Okay, gene flow. Plus, now these genes are exposed to the new conditions and there will be interbreeding with the locals. As a result of it, certain changes will come in the growth as well. Okay, new socio-economic cultural conditions are being exposed to them. Similarly, internal environment, like the environment which happens in the mother's womb, right? Though the identical twins we talk about, their intrauterine environment is not same. That is the reason why though we say they are identical, they are not exactly 100% identical. Similarly, the impact of the season, you might have seen in summers, generally what we do, we lose certain amount of fat and weight because of like intense dissipation of the heat and sweating. But in winters, we generally get more deposition of the fat, right? It is to protect your metabolic heat and conserve heat and all. So this does vary. Similarly, emotional factors, like see the children who are in the emotionally stable conditions, they are being seen very good growth. But the children who are exposed to like let's say continuous conflicts, and the orphanage children who are in the orphanage who are not being given that much love and affection. So such areas where there is a stress or trauma, the children who have faced severe traumatic situations, there is a undergrowth. The hormonal balance will not be good, and as a result of it there is a undergrowth. So on these lines we can say growth is interplay of both genetic as well as environmental factors, right? And particularly those socio-economic and cultural factors and religious factors do impact, like the food habits and all of them, they also impact the growth. That's where the governments and the states, welfare states, they can plan in providing proper supplements which are needed in the children who are in the growth spurts times, so that we can ensure good growth. And if there is a good growth, then there is good human capital which can enhance the let's say national income, standard of living and everything, and that turns into not just like a physical development, also the economic development. That is how we can conclude this. I hope it is useful. You might have got one or two points. I've already given the feedback and evaluation of this copy to the student. So from here, I hope you got one or two points. Do add them to your value addition and continue to follow it. And if this is useful, you know what to do. See you in the next video with another answer approach. Till then, take care, guys. Friends, if you have seen this video till now, that means the content is useful to you. If it is, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. It gives a lot of motivation to continue this series. If you have already subscribed, thank you very much.